Her life was stolen from her at a festival, and the entire thing was caught on camera. And the details are shocking, heartbreaking, and honestly infuriating. This is the case of Gabriela Nicole Prats Rosario. Quick trigger warning that this case does involve the unaliving of a minor. Please take care of yourselves, your mental health matters. And a quick disclaimer that I'm just a girl, I'm not a lawyer, and all this information is publicly available. Also, this case is active and ongoing, so that means all this information is alleged. Okay, now we can actually get into the story. Sometimes I feel like I have to give a million disclaimers at the beginning, but it's worth it. Okay, so Gabriela was 16 years old at the time of the story, living in Anaboto, Puerto Rico. She was very close with her family, and her friends describe her as energetic, sweet, and social. On August 11th, 2025, the community was wrapping up a big local celebration called Cierre de Verano. Basically, a big summer-ending event where everyone can celebrate before school starts back up again. Teens are out, hanging out with friends, everyone's hanging around, nothing unusual. It's the kind of night that's supposed to be fun and carefree. The last little taste of summer before school starts again. Among the crowd that night was Gabriela. She had a plan to have fun with her friends that night. Everyone said that Gabriela was the kind of girl that stood out. Not because she wanted attention, but because she had this bright energy about her. She loved music, she loved fashion, and she was known to have this sweet and confident personality. But that night at the festival, something went horribly wrong for Gabriela. At some point after midnight, a fight broke out between groups of teens. Witnesses say they had seen tensions earlier that evening, and that words quickly turned into a physical altercation. But what no one expected was how fast it spiraled. In the middle of the chaos, Gabriela ended up being attacked and 8 times. 8 times. That is horrifying to say out loud. Thankfully, paramedics were called and she was immediately rushed to a hospital, but her injuries were too severe and she didn't make it. She was then pronounced deceased at the hospital. Thankfully, police in Puerto Rico were able to catch Gabriela's attackers. They did this through a mix of witness testimony, surveillance footage, and forensic evidence. Based on official reports and local coverage, police reviewed security camera footage from nearby homes that caught the entire incident on camera. The footage reportedly showed Gabriela meeting with 2 women, 39-year-old Mauricia Ortiz Rivera and her 17-year-old daughter, Anthoniska Aviles Carburer. I fully realize that I totally butchered those names, but they're bad people, so I don't really feel that bad. Basically, Gabriela met up with those 2 women shortly before she was attacked. Authorities also gathered eyewitness statements from locals who say that they saw the confrontation and provided descriptions of the matching suspects. Once the footage was analyzed, investigators traced the women to their residence, where they conducted a search and seized several pieces of physical evidence, which included blood-stained clothing and personal items belonging to Gabriela. So not only did they attack her, they also stole her things. Thankfully, both suspects were detained within 48 hours of the crime. The mother was charged as an adult with first and destruction of evidence, while the daughter was charged as a juvenile for her role in the attack. Officials say that the motive appeared to be jealousy, which resulted in a personal dispute escalating violently. Imagine being a 39-year-old mother that was so jealous of a 16-year-old that they stabbed her and then stole her things and ended up unaliving her. What? Clearly have some serious issues going on there. Prosecutors emphasized the brutality of the attack and the fact that it was all captured on video, leaving no doubt about their involvement. The daughter was initially ruled not processable. Basically, the court said she couldn't stand trial because of her mental health, and that decision caused outrage. People were furious, especially Gabriela's family, rightfully, who felt that it was another chance at the case being swept under the rug. But then a few weeks later, the court flipped their decision. The court reversed that decision, declaring that she was processable, meaning she will stand trial and she will be tried as an adult. Meanwhile, forensic teams at the Puerto Rico Institute of Forensic Sciences are still reviewing evidence. Like I said, this still is an active and ongoing investigation, so trial hasn't even happened yet. There is talk of DNA testing, additional witnesses, and possibly more people involved than just the mother and the daughter. This might go deeper than it looks, which it's already fucking insane. Gabriela's mom, Lisandra Rosario, has been incredibly strong through all of this. She's spoken at press conferences, she's been vocal on social media, and she's begged for justice. She said, quote, "They took the light from my eyes." And Gabriela's funeral was packed. People wore white and carried flowers. Her classmates left handwritten notes, photos, and stuffed animals at the site where she was attacked. And even now, her name trends online in Puerto Rico every time there's an update in the case because her community refuses to forget her, which is so amazing to see a community come together for something like this. They've started a movement not only calling for justice for Gabriela, but for other victims of youth violence on the island. Gabriela was 16. She should have gone back to school that week. She should have grown up, graduated, fallen in love, and lived a full life. But instead, some selfish people stole her life from her, and her name is now attached to one of the most shocking cases that Puerto Rico has seen in years. As of now, both suspects remain charged. The investigation is ongoing, and prosecutors are preparing for trial. The hope is that this time justice will actually be served. For Gabriela, for her family, and for everyone who's been left heartbroken by what happened. That is everything I have on this case. I would love to hear your comments. I post true crime videos just like this one, so if you like this type of content, follow so you don't miss my next video, and please stay safe out there because you never know what's right around the corner.